support. So you're being recorded, Dawn.
Your husband has to be sitting there like, breathe.
You should have. You should have, like, or you could have snapped and let me know.
No, but so I am Dawn Paichaki. I am director of Transcendent Tribe. I posted like my why and stuff like that earlier today to just get it out of the way. So if you guys didn't see it, you can go back and watch it. But my favorite part about being in Scentsy is I love leading and I love being a mentor and I love training. So that's where like my heart lies, and that's like my main focus. But so I was really excited when Heather was like, let's do this. So my first takeaway was when she was talking about trying to be something she wasn't. And she was saying like she like teased her hair, and she went into this interview and she was like talking differently, and he totally picked up on it. But then he offered her this job, which she knew nothing about, which kind of threw me for a loop because I thought she was going to go in a different direction. I thought she was going to be like, oh, I didn't get the job. And then I had to realize that like I need to be me and I need to own it. Instead, she got this completely amazing job that she wasn't even trying to get, which worked out for her. But I think that sometimes, especially with Scentsy, we can try to be somebody else. We can try to be Kimberly Paludo or Chloe Cox or Jennifer Anderson, and there's nothing wrong with, like, they're amazing, but that's them and that's their business. And we need to bring it back, and we need to be a Dawn Paichaki or a Heather or a Courtney, like that's what we need to be. We need to own that, and we need to own who we are. And so I already knew that, but it was kind of solidifying to me to hear somebody who's obviously successful saying like, I was trying to be somebody else, like it worked out for me, but then I really didn't know what I was talking about in the end. Because if you guys read or listened to the statement about like she had no idea what was going on with the Gillette razor thing. So I thought that was funny. So how I'm going to implement it. So I really want to instill in my team that just because they're a new consultant, because I think for new consultants, it's really hard for you to come into Scentsy and you see all of these amazing consultants doing these amazing things, and you want to be that. You want to be just like that. You want to be you want to recreate whatever that person's doing, and that's great. But you know what makes people really successful is finding your own thing, finding that thing that makes you successful, that makes you special, finding that special little part of your brand, like for me, I'm a mom. Me and my husband are really into like beer and home brewing. And obviously like I'm a Scentsy leader. But that, like, the Scentsy thing is like only a piece of me. Like there's so much more that goes into who you are. And so owning that is really big. And then next, I really, really, really liked when she compared being bold to being obsessed, because sometimes in my business I kind of get a little obsessed, but I also try to do like all the things, so I think that it's really important for us to not get obsessed with numbers, not get obsessed with all of these like goals and things that we have to hit, but try to just kind of chug along and celebrate the small victories. Did I get to 200 PRV? Am I active? Yay, that's amazing. Like you should celebrate that. Did I get to 500 PRV? Yay, that's amazing. Like 500 PRV is leadership level. If you get to that, that's amazing. Like if you're not doing 2,000 PRV a month, that doesn't mean that you're not successful. So don't obsess over the things that are completely out of your control. You can't make people buy from you and get to 2,000 a month. If you do that, your customers are going to get worn out, and then your business is going to start to kind of dwindle. So you kind of have to be bold in your business and like push yourself to do bold and amazing things, but you still have to let go and celebrate your small victories. And that's what I prepared. So I don't know if that's.
That was great. Oh,
I feel like you had way more to say than I did.
I've been reading the book though for longer, so I've read those same 2 sections at least 8 times to see what
Yeah.
I need to talk about. I think that's really good about what you said about the 2000 PRV or anything else. It's kind of like just because you didn't get to 2000 PRV, but you got to 1500 PRV, and all those people that you talk to is going to set you up for success for the future when you follow up with those people. So that was gold in itself. Yay! Good. All right, Linda, you up? Where'd she go?
Can she unmute herself?
Yeah, I don't see. She dropped off. Oh, I don't know where she went. Okay. We'll do Courtney next then. Go, girl.
All right, sorry, I'm throwing my phone everywhere first. So a lot of this stuff I think I have learned just through kind of my business interactions. So first of all, I have to say that I had never come across this book in just kind of my travels. So thank you, because I do think that it kind of broadens your horizons, even if you've kind of been in this surrounding. So what I loved about this is, one, her candidness. Like I'm all for being 100% genuine. And she definitely does that, but in a way that really entices you to continue listening and want to empower yourself to be better. And that is one thing I do love about her. She empowers herself and others to put your true self out there, to really put yourself first and think about how you do things, how they impact others, but most importantly, how they impact you, so that you can be the best you that you are. That one kind of hits home for me, because that's something that I really strive to do, is be the best version of myself that I can possibly be. Kind of what I've already known through all this that she said is that there is a large difference between being a leader and being a boss. I try to be a leader, because a leader is someone that is very helping, is very genuinely concerned about their employees or peers as people, not as numbers. And this means that you have to be invested in them as much as you're invested in yourself. And you have to want for them to genuinely also be the best versions of themselves that they can be. And then what I learned, schedule everything so that you actually have a work-life balance. That's a hard thing for me, because like you, Heather, I'm all about, yes, let's make this happen, let's do this. And I'm like, no, wait, we forgot about some of these other important things, you know. And I have to say that that's probably something that we're all guilty of. So I think that's a strong lesson for me to really take home and try to figure out how to tailor to myself. Um, but you know, doing all of that, it really helps you be you. You own everything that you're doing, which, you know, your life is yours, so you should own it. But you're developing that best version of yourself. You know, defining yourself, your brand, your confidence, your abilities, and then along the way you meet other great people, and because you're strong and you're doing that, you're inspiring, and you kind of get that tribe, if you will, of other strong, inspiring, and true self people, you know. So that, and then turning everything into a positive. I don't think that anything that she said, any small interaction that she had, even if it was negative or very embarrassing, I mean, everything that she's done is twist that around into a completely positive light and use it to learn from. So I think that that's something that we all should strive to do.
Love that.
Love that.
Oh my gosh. I don't even like know.
I love that. I love the mentality that you have, though, especially with the difference between being a leader and being a boss. Like I love that, because that's something that I personally do also try to do. Like, I've caught myself before talking about numbers, and then I'm like, that's not fair. Like, that's not what this is all about. So you kind of have to reel it back and remind yourself, like, I'm helping them get to where they want to be. It's not all about numbers.
Right. Exactly. And the positivity always, that is such fire too, because you would be amazed at how being a positive person will force other people to be positive as well, because they know that whatever they say to you, you're going to say something positive back. So they either don't bring it to you anymore, or they change their mentality 110%. Like, even on Nautical Knots, like if I see a total negative post, it gets deleted. And if that upsets you, fine, but we can't have that, because the minute you do that, it starts a chain of other people agreeing with that. And then all of a sudden we have polluted the entire pool, or our ocean, since we're nautical knots, of team members. And so I love that. And then being strong, and that being strong and confident in yourself inspires other people as well. And they want to join that as well. And so I love that. Good job. All right. Randy, you're next. Me, myself, not to cough.
Okay. Hi. I'm nervous because this is my first time doing this stuff, and this stuff always makes me nervous. I'm very much so enjoying the book, and I'm still learning my why, if I'm being honest. I'm still learning what really makes me tick. In other words, what gets me going, which is making me really enjoy this book a whole ton, because I love the mentality of be true to who you are. And I'm coming off of LuLaRoe, as I've spoke with Heather earlier about it, and that business kind of made me lose a little bit of myself. And I'm hoping that with starting Scentsy and reading this book, that I really delve back into me and being true to who I am. So that is the number one thing that I took away as of now, is I need to find me and what makes me tick, and then I will attract the tribe that I want to attract. I want to attract good and happy people. I want to attract people who want to work. I don't want to be their boss. I want to be their leader. I want to be their friend, because I think that's a huge thing, is being a friend to somebody actually, I think, motivates you to work more than trying to micromanage and tell people what to do. So the quote about being a duck and an eagle, and I most definitely want to be an eagle, because I want to soar up above and beyond. And I've kind of taken this new approach to Facebook, even, where I'm trying to cut all the negativity out of the Facebook. I'm not posting any more negative, because that's not who I want to attract. I don't want to attract negative people, because you're right, when one person comments, and it just starts this pool of negativity. I'm very obsessive, so I'm going to try not to obsess so much about the little things. And I need to learn how to balance my work and my home life. That's always been a struggle for me, because I think that if I'm not working at all, then my business struggles. But then if I'm working too much, then my family struggles. So my number one thing also is schedule everything. And I've started doing that, writing everything down, and so far it's kind of working. So it's a work in progress, but that's me, and that's kind of what I took away from everything, and I'm super excited to read the rest of the book.
Yay! That was really good. Dawn, what do you have to? What do you have to say?
How do you know that I have something to say?
You look super
Okay, so Randy, you know what's funny is I'm a lot like you, especially with the balance, and like I'm very like I need to have I need to know that everything's going a certain way. So one thing that I think we learned, well, I know we learned it at boot camp, but I think it was really important for me to hear, and it might be something that's going to be really important for you and your business, is think more so about Scentsy, and like not just Scentsy, but like your life, like everything as an orchestra. Like an orchestra needs all of the different instruments, and they all have their own time to shine, right? So, but you have to find a way to make them all blend together, and the harmony. So instead of trying to find a balance, just try to find a harmony, where you're not necessarily trying to make everything flow perfectly, but you're just trying to make everything flow in a way that works for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense. And that is actually brilliant. And I will write that down, and I will plaster it up everywhere.
Yeah. No, when they taught us that, Heather was in there, and I was like, oh my God, this is my life. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. So yeah, definitely like stop trying to make it like a balance thing, and just try to like find the pieces that you know you have to focus on, the things that you know have to be important in your day. that specific day. Even it doesn't have to be the whole month, but just for this specific day, and just focus on those 2 or 3 things within a day. And then towards the end of the week, you're like, wow, I really made this whole orchestra kind of harmonize together instead of just trying to balance everything.
That is brilliant. Thank you. And I will definitely keep that in mind.
You're welcome.
All right. Sorry, I have to apparently upgrade this thing. I didn't realize how to do that. All right, next person. I can't see her name with the S. Sib? Is she on here still? Oh, I don't see her. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Val, you're up.
Hi everyone. So I missed like the first 2 minutes of this, and please ignore my boyfriend juicing in the background because I can't avoid that in an apartment. So I've read half of the book, and I think there's a few takeaways besides the whole book that I love. Working in a full-time with a lot of women, I think it's how to wait, let me just get the best part of it. Well, the first thing is I noticed I hold a lot of grudges at work, so I have to carry that into a positive light. And I think the best part about Nicole is that she makes everything into a positive. So she always said holding a grudge is just letting someone sit rent-free in your head. And I think sometimes we carry that as women. I don't want to sound partial or say that it's women versus men, but just basically shedding a positive light onto everything. And then she said, you dig your own goals, you make your own destiny. I think I'm always waiting for someone else.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, that was so stressful. It wouldn't take my money. I was like, take my money. What was wrong with it? Why wouldn't it do it? It just did it the 8th time. I don't know. Oh my god.
What's going on?
I don't know what you're doing with all this. All right, let's give Dawn a minute to come back on, and then we can restart, and hopefully you were able to recollect your thoughts. But feel free to share them all since there's only one person after you, so it doesn't matter how many things you list.
Okay. Should I start now or should I wait?
Let me see where Dawn is, because I'm sure.
Okay.
Dawn,
Okay.
right. Or you just go ahead and start. We're recording it.
Okay. So I picked 2 main takeaways that kind of tie into each other. The first one is you dig your own goals and you make your own destiny, only because she said that she doesn't believe in destiny or anything just hitting you by chance and waiting for your chance to happen. You kind of have to make your own chances. You have to make your own destiny, make it, set your goals and execute them, because no one's going to do it for you. And it ties into the other thing she says in the book, which is you miss 100% of the chances that you don't take. I think so far with Scentsy, I was scared to do so many things, scared to put my pamphlets in the middle of a bagel shop. I'm oh, I don't want strangers seeing my information and everything like that. But it's part of the business. You have to put yourself out there and do things that you wouldn't normally do. So that was a huge takeaway for me related to Scentsy, but I think the whole book overall is amazing. It took me a while to gather my thoughts though, really quick, just because I read it on Audible and I bought the book 2 hours ago. So I was trying to catch up and make sure step 1 caught up to what you guys were at, because I didn't want to be too ahead of the game. So that was my reasoning behind having all these random notes that were in my phone instead of being on a piece of paper. So that's it.
So you make your own destiny, 100% chance that you don't take. I actually really, 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 really love that one because that goes into every single person's fear that does anything in life is we're so afraid to it goes back to like caveman time where if you were shunned from a group, it meant certain death because you didn't have your group of people to like protect you. And so we're so afraid to put ourselves out there because we're afraid that people are going to shun us. And if people shun us, then we're going to be out there starving by ourselves. If we're starving by ourselves means we're going to die, or in relation to Scentsy, our business is going to suffocate. And then we're going to end up living with our whatever. And that's like what we learned at boot camp as well, was like that fear. Initiality is the fear of failing, which is why we don't want to put ourselves out there, but you have to. And the more that you do it, the more easier it's going to get. I took when I was, what was I at that kiosk? 19? I was 19. I worked at a makeup kiosk in the mall, and you literally have to talk to every single person that passes by who are like doing this. And once you do that to about 100 people, literally it becomes so much easier. But those first that first week I was petrified to even like open my mouth and speak, but eventually you kind of just like make it a joke for them to like not want to talk to you. And so, and there's the whole Scentsy thing where it's like go for no, and it's literally the mentality you have to do is go for no. Don't try and make them say no, but try and see how many no's you can get. So seriously loved that. That was awesome. I don't know where Dawn is. She has come back on, so she's not going to give her little speech. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say off of what Val said? Randy or Terry? Can you hear us, Terry? Are you unmuted now? Say hey. No, like with your mouth.
It's not working.
No, it's not working. Darn. I was trying to see if that helped. All right. So, Tyler, your turn. So, he's our last one.
I don't know. I read a lot and I take a bunch of notes, so I have like a book somewhat. I'm not gonna try to bore y'all, but basically when she broke down boss, the meaning of it, the takeaway was be bold. My thought was make a decision. Don't wait for the decision to be made for you. The human mind only takes 5 seconds to follow through with whatever you're going to do. So if say you're going to go set up at that coffee shop that you're talking about, you're so nervous about putting flyers out and stuff like that. Well, instead of being nervous about it, just do it. I mean, nothing's going to hurt. Nothing. I mean, either you're going to get sales off of it or you're not going to get sales off of it. It's not going to hurt you. I mean, most likely you're not going to see anybody again from there, but hopefully you do. You know what I mean? So bold, obsessed. Find something you're obsessed with. That I read another book where they were talking about finding something you're obsessed with and then basically bunkering down in that subject and finding whatever you're really good at. So like in the other book, they put it with art. Like if you really like writing music, try painting, try drawing, try doing sculptures or something like that. Just try every single aspect of art to see what you really get out of it. And in my mind, like business, like try marketing, try being creative with creating props or creating marketing strategies for your team or something to that nature where you can actually take it and advance upon it. So say you find out that you're really, really, really good at making flyers and somebody on your team isn't, or
that's a good example.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
But then they're good at something that you're not. So basically you're using each other
To balance.
obsession to balance off of each other. Self-aware, notice that you make mistakes and own them. Nobody's perfect. So don't sit there and don't try to sit there and say, oh, I didn't mess up, or get down on yourself because you failed at something. Everybody fails. You learn from failure. Without failure, we don't learn and we don't advance. So failure is like a key to success. So be self-aware about that. Strong. Be strong in believing in yourself. Walk into the room with the mentality that you got this. Piggybacking off of the fear thing that y'all were talking about earlier.
Piggyback off us.
Basically, fear is the one thing that ruins success for everybody. Like, everybody can be successful, but they have a fear of no. They have a fear of how to explaining something. They have a fear of going live on their team page or going live on their Facebook page or something like that. So if you try to overcome fear, and goes back to that 5-second rule, instead of sitting there and thinking, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? Just do it. And it will take the whole fear aspect out of it. And you'll feel 100 times better on the other side of it.
That's what I was going to mention.
and
Once you fail and then succeed, it kind of it empowers you that much more that you did it. And even if you did fail, you still feel empowered because you put yourself out there and you have that adrenaline rush. And if you can remake that adrenaline rush or if you could remake your fear, like if you're going to go do a speech and instead of like be out there and shaking, and translate that fear into excitedness, which is what I personally like to do. And people are like, you're excited all the time. Sure, that's what it is. I'm nervous 99% of the time, but eventually it turns to excitement generally because I translate that into excitement when I'm talking. So instead of sounding like this, I'm like, oh my gosh, are you guys ready? Because today's going to be awesome. But really it's because I'm trying not to stutter. But they don't know that, and they don't need to know that. In their eyes, I'm coming off confident, and eventually you catch yourself. Sorry, that was really good.
You're fine.
I want to piggyback off of you since you piggyback off us.
No one starts off by being a boss knowing exactly what to do, and that's okay. I mean, nobody's gonna sit here and jump in. Like, I think, Brandy, you were selling LuLaRoe before, and you jumping into this full steam. So I'm pretty sure you're nervous. So the thing is like, don't be. I mean, there's no perfect book on how you're going to sit there and be successful at this. Like I said, failure is the key to success. So you're going to fail, but the best thing you can do is, instead of getting down about yourself on your failures, use them as learning points and move forward. So, I mean, that goes for everybody. I mean, I think that's huge. Everybody's sitting here, like, reading this book is good because you're talking amongst peers and you're learning from each other. You're not learning from this book, really. You're learning from each other, and you're getting ideas. And like in the book, she actually says this is not a textbook. You're supposed to read it, and you're supposed to do your own synopsis off of what you're taking from it. It's what you take from it that is there. And then the scheduling, everything. I mean, that's huge. I'm terrible about scheduling stuff, and we're trying to get better at it. But the biggest thing that I've read and that I've watched and listened to and all that kind of stuff is basically planning your week out. Like, start on Sunday evening and go ahead and just sit down and plan out what you want to accomplish that week. Send that list to somebody that you know will keep you accountable to make sure you accomplish it.
It's really good.
And it's really nice to be in a routine. It makes life so much easier when you have your day planned and you're not running around like a crazy person. So, and it makes you feel better and you're less stressed and all that stuff. So that's it.
That's actually really good. I actually just watched a training yesterday on Katie Farner and what she does on Sundays, which is like she'll plan out what she's doing that whole week on Sunday. And so if she's going to the dentist office, or her kid has a field trip, and she has a PTA meeting, that would be my life. She will go ahead and plan out what she'd want to bring to those events related to Scentsy, because that's the point of this business, is to incorporate it into your daily lives, not incorporate your daily life into Scentsy. The point of it is for it to fluctuate with you. And so, but on Sunday, she'll go ahead and prep everything that she's going to want to bring to those events to expand her business. And I love that, because I find myself, I'm like, oh, I need to go to the dentist office today. And I'm like, I should bring catalogs and samples. I don't have time to make this Need a Basket party. And I'm like, screw up bringing anything because I got time to make nothing. And it's going to look crappy. So if you go ahead and plan that instead of waiting till last minute to do it, then it's going to make it look more professional. You're going to be more confident and more likely to actually go through with it. And so that was actually really good too. You guys have, I'm not going to say, what do you guys need to say off of that? There we go.
Are you unmuting me? I actually like what you said about incorporating Scentsy into your life, not the other way around. That actually kind of rung in my head, because right now it's like everything needs to be planned out, and I have to do this and I have to do that. I'm trying to get this business up and running, but then I'm like, but what if my son gets sick and this? And I have to remember that Scentsy's being incorporated in my life. I'm not stopping my life to do Scentsy. Okay. And that is brilliant. And things like that is what makes me like go, aha, yes, that's what. So I have so many notes that I'm going to have to go through and rewrite so I can understand them. But
and like if you have stuff together, if you have to take your son to the doctor, you have your stuff together, like a little, like she has like a mobile office and has catalogs in it. So if you go to the doctor's office, bring some of those in there. I mean, you're basically, like you said, you're incorporating it into your life.
Yes.
You can talk to whoever, and you have samples, you have your catalogs there, flyers, whatever. I mean,
yes, I actually have a Lucy bag that I put away, and it just has pictures on the front. And somebody actually was like, your bag smells good. And I was like, oh, well, let me show you why. Exactly. And I had samples inside my purse that were smelling. So I was like, well, here, have a sample. And we talked. So it was that's out of my comfort zone. So I was actually kind of proud of myself, because usually I'm afraid to do stuff like that. I'm afraid to just be like, hey, here's this. And nothing happened. She took it and said thanks, and it started a conversation. So
that's how she was with going live on Facebook. Like, she was so nervous about going live on Facebook.
Oh my God, me too.
When it first started.
And I kept pushing her. And one day she just did it. And now, I mean.
No, let me tell you how he made me do it, though. I was going live on our team page, like 8 months pregnant, like big old belly. And I was training on like how to network. And I was supposed to be live on our team page. It was the first time. It was when live first started. And so I was still learning it. And so I was actually like standing on our porch, which is out there somewhere. And I took my sister's tripod and we like duct taped my phone to it. And I was standing over in the back. And so the camera was this way, so I couldn't see the screen. And I had like a whole like whiteboard and everything. And I dropped my pen. I'm like, whoops, dropped my pen. I like do like the mom, like reach down, big old got hair in a bun. And I pushed in live, and it was said 1.2K people watched this. And I was like, what? And I went live on my actual freaking Facebook page, but because it had just started, it made everybody tune into it. And actually Samantha Wynn, who's not on this call right now, but she's actually one of the people who watched that, and she joined, and she actually just hit Star Consultant this month. So it was out of my comfort zone. I didn't mean to be out of my comfort zone, but in doing that, it made me go live more. It's like, well, that wasn't that bad. I didn't get shot or anything, and I got a recruit out of it. Like, why would I not do that again? But now it's just like whatever when I go live, but nobody like tunes in anymore because it's not as important as it was then. So I just gotta get my algorithms up or something. I don't know. Val, do you have anything you would like to say?
Based on what Hubs, because I think I missed his introduction, so I'm gonna call him Hubs, because that's what sorry. But
I refer to him as Hubs too. So.
I definitely like how one of your first main takeaways is be bold and take charge, because I think so often I tend to hesitate so much in like making that one little purchase for Scentsy, or like realizing, oh, that's a great idea for samples, and you have the idea in your head. It's just executing it and taking that one step of saying, you know what, it's worth it. It's worth it to make that purchase, to try it out, because what's the worst case that happens? I fail and I try something new the next time around. So I think that was like huge for me. So I really like that you made that your first point, because then it ties into that fear of ruined success. So you can't be successful unless you try again.
Yep, exactly.
Love that. I hate spending money myself, and even if it's for my business, like I don't like doing it, but I find that if I buy something to make samples with, like the confetti, it makes your samples so much cuter to actually hand them to people, because if it looks cute, I'm more likely to do it. And so I actually bought the confetti, and so it actually made me make the samples. But I found that, like, if I leave a little bit amount on my Scentsy card when I get paid, that's just for my business, that I know it's for that I'm more likely to go ahead and use it for my business. And because I bought something for my business, I'm more likely to go ahead and implement it and use it.
So smart. I want to know what those confetti samples are, though, because not now. You can always like post them on the page, but I just
No, those aren't.
I
mean, we're right here. Why not? Let's see that in the back. Okay, so these are mallets that I didn't get to because this month was insane. But I'll open it. Hold on. So I do a VIP like sticker on the front of it, and so that is so I don't have to go through and write in my address, because I will never do that. And then it says, before you open this, snap a selfie and tag me. And so when they get this in the mail, they're actually gonna like, and then they're gonna open it, and then they'll go into like a drawing or something. But inside of it is, I got the little troll. I think it was an ice mold, honestly. But it was a little troll movie. So all my mom friends who have kids, or often kids with their moms, they're the ones who are going to get this specific one. But on the inside, you can see it has like a little Halloween confetti in it. And it makes it so much more cute to open. And so it's not that big of a deal. And then it has the little troll dude, and then the example, or what the avocado smells like, because this is like avocado and something else I don't remember. And then inside this little envelope is the scent of the month for October. And so either mailing that to someone, I'm more likely to do it and not procrastinate it, because obviously it looks cute to mail that. And if I don't have that sticker on it, then it's easier to hand those people. So we actually went to a fall festival yesterday, day before. Saturday. And it was just like a little small town, like not like a trunk or treat, but like local businesses, which I don't know why I didn't know about this, but local businesses set up a Halloween table and hand kids Halloween candy, let them play games. Like, it's not like to sell anything, but I could have handed the moms something and the kids. I was so mad. So instead of getting mad, I was naturally prepared and had all these samples. And so as the people would give the girls like candy, I'd make them go give the people little samples that were pre-made just like that. So it kind of made them go be bold and say thank you, but it put my business out there as well.
I love them. Thank you. Thanks.
Yep. Charlotte, I just realized that you're on here, and so did you want to do one of your takeaways, boo?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Heather, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Go ahead. So I'm Charlotte, and one of my takeaways is that I was listening to her about how she did that interview, and she was like really trying to push in stuff. And I guess sometimes I feel like I push my company, and then I'm not for sure if people are hearing me, but I also have to work like rethink about like how I have to run my business and everything, because I have the challenge of my disability. So my thought process isn't always there. So like writing down things and really scheduling things out again is what I'm working on. And like this month, I'm throwing a Facebook party. Next month, I already have a friend who's like, yes, let's do a Facebook party next month. So I'm really hoping this goes well, because she's part of my party this next weekend. So I'm kind of nervous because my parties haven't always done well. But I do have an event coming up in April.
Heck
that
yeah.
I will be redoing.
Where's your event at?
Warren Central is a high school that is doing the autism wrestling meet again.
Okay.
and I'm part of the event.
Awesome. So you'll probably see some of your repeat customers then that you can re-follow up with. So I would definitely bring some of the stuff that you brought last time, like those buddies, and redo that
Hmm.
so they remember.
I
But
am. I'm already starting to stock up on burning and the warmers.
yay, very good. That is totally awesome. Charlotte is a kick butt person. When she first joined, just to highlight you a little bit, when she first joined, she mentioned that she has a, how do you explain it, Charlotte? A disability?
A disability.
So she has a
But I call it a ability. It's not a disability, it's ability.
exactly, because she has the ability to do anything she pleases. So when she first joined, like she had a hard time
Exactly.
when she like text messages and stuff. Like a lot of her words would not be like spelled correctly, but I knew what she was saying, and she said, "Sorry, I don't spell that well when I'm texting." And that was what 2 years ago. And since then, like there's not a single word misspelled when she texts me. And so it's really cool to even see that growth just from her having to message people. She's improved even the small things in her life that have obviously helped you flourish in every aspect. So that's super exciting. She does different events for autism awareness and the Special Olympics and really gets herself out there. So super uber exciting. I love you, Charlotte.
I think my Scentsy 2 Special Olympics with me.
Exactly. She's like, here, running your sample.
You should smell my room during summer games. It smells so good. Everybody's like, why your room smelling so good? And me and my roommate both go, Scentsy.
Oh, Charlotte, you're a total boss. You just own your also no matter where you are and what you're doing. That is why we love you. So that was really good. I loved all of that 110%. Terry has her takeaway, but she, for some reason, her computer won't let her talk. So she's going to type up her message on the page, Terry, with your takeaway. Would that work? Or you can go live. So you have to talk like we all did. So however you want to do that, I think you should go live, cough, cough. But however you want to do it, cough, cough. All right, guys. So that kind of just sums up this. I'm sorry that we had that.
Typing?
What?
Typing it or what?
I don't think so. She should. Nobody. If it's typed, nobody would be able to see the question, and this is being recorded. But so that kind of wraps up our whole thing. So this was our week 1 for our Boss Bitch program, and you guys did amazing. I'm super excited. I think this was really cool that we were all talking, collaborating. It wasn't just like one person talking to themselves and feeling like nobody cares. That was really cool that we gave feedback. I think this is going to really set up for the path for the future, and even my future meetings to do with my team, like this is what I'm gonna expect is me not talking to myself. And I guess the best way to do that is to go and say, hey, you're number 1, you're number 2, you're number 3, so pay attention and learn something. Like I loved it. I loved the popcorn. This was great. So I hope that you guys learned something. Make sure you make it a huge deal so that we get even more people for the next time. But I think this is a good turnout for our first one, and congratulations, you're official boss bitches.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Let me stop recording. I don't know what I'm doing.
Thank you.
Press the stop.